On October 17, the Pentagon released previously unpublic videos and photos of more than a dozen dangerous maneuvers of Chinese fighter pilots. Listen 9 minutes. Share comment on this story. Comment add to your recorded stories. Save the Pentagon says Chinese Army has increased its aggressive behavior towards U.S. surveillance aircraft Pacific and has carried out more than 180 risky prevention in past 2 years. This number is more than previous decade. Officials said ArrowRight Chinese Air Force and Navy fighter pilots have been attacking 15 feet close to U.S. jets since autumn 2021, throwing nonsense and even turning their middle finger with a cheeky intimidation show. They said that number was approaching 300 when you took into account close encounters of allies and partners from air. On Tuesday, Pentagon harassed unarmed U.S. reconnaissance aircraft that legally patrolled the international airspace of Chinese warplanes over East and South China Seas. More than a dozen reviewed by The Washington Post have posted videos and photos that have not been previously made public about such maneuvers. In January, while an American RC-135 was flying over the South China Sea, a Chinese J-11 fighter jet launched 2 missiles on each wing, quickly approaching about 30 feet and linger for more than 15 minutes. A Chinese fighter jet in May of last year, the Navy, patrolling East China Sea, quickly moved towards EP-3 spy plane, and according to Pentagon, it passed under nose of plane, causing American pilot to lose visual contact. He then approached laterally 15 feet and flew just under the U.S. plane. As shown in the video, in May of last year, a Chinese fighter jet flew dangerously close to an American military aircraft over the East China Sea. In another incident, in June 2022, a Chinese fighter jet flew over and under the U.S. reconnaissance jet, displaying its weapons. When American pilot contacted Chinese fighter jet over radio, Chinese fighter jet responded in English. Pentagon with F off. This is pure and simple harassment, said retired Air Force Lieutenant General David Deptula, a former fighter pilot who carried out air operations in the Pacific in the mid-2000s. He condemned close approaches that could lead to wrong decision and collision. There is absolutely no need for this in the international airspace. Deptula collided with Navy EP-3 of a Chinese fighter plane in April 2001. He remembered that the Chinese pilot had and that 24-crew U.S. plane caused an emergency landing on Hainan Island, which led to an international event. The Americans were detained and interrogated by Chinese officials for 11 days before being released. This incident was engraved in the memory of U.S. military aviators and highlighted the tragic consequences that could result from aggressive and non-professional aviation. In the newly released S. It appears that a Chinese fighter plane flies dangerously close to an American military aircraft and fires flares on the East China Sea. Senior